in Mpumalanga, capacity to be built in Limpopo, and so on. And they deal with the matters as per structure that we have.
And the reason they came to assist in Gauteng was precisely because the resources in Gauteng did not have the same capacity that PKTT had. That's why some of the PKTT members were seconded to the teams in Gauteng to assist in the investigation of certain matters.
Now, we seem to be talking a little bit parallel. This is not to say when there is an issue or there was an issue that they identified you couldn't take PKTT to go and assist, just like you take TRT or you take national intervention. This is not to say so. If those happened, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It may mean that it was a project in and out or for the time being. I'm not sure whether the examples you're making in relation to Limpopo and Mpumalanga means that there is PKTT in the form that it is in KZN. I suspect that you are talking about taking members in KZN to go and assist or reinforce, which you could have done even with any other combative unit. So that existence is not the same as you are talking.
And lastly, Minister,
you are making.
Sorry to interrupt you. Are you finished? I interrupted you. Are you finished?
Yes, I'm done.
Sorry
I'm done,
about that. Lastly, is there anything in the Murray report that says once you've established the murder and robbery unit, you cannot establish task teams, or the task teams that already exist cannot continue to exist?
The whole concept of establishing specialized units right from the beginning was to build capacity. In other words, was to bring capability within subs. And in writing, it is indicated in a number of instances that once you have murder and robbery, even in the documents, the 22nd January, that was preliminary report, National Commissioner indicates exactly that it would be absorbed. It would be absorbed. So it is in the concept, and it has been the understanding over time that you won't have them parallel. But even when you have those specialized units, if a problem that is seen to be above any existing capacity of specialized units, you would necessarily deploy combative units that you pick up from anywhere.
So a task team can operate side by side with the murder and robbery unit?
In the form that we were talking about in the Eastern Cape, reinforcing, not really sitting there for a period like you are relying on a temporal structure as subs for an extended period. They would go there, reinforce, and then come back. That is the understanding. That's the operational understanding from where I sit, that we wish to get to that level of working. Have something that is stable and consistently being built as a capacity. But then you can, from time to time, when the need arises.
Thank you.
Minister, if I could just follow up on that. I understand your answer to the question whether the Murray report says task teams can't exist. I understand you to, in summary, to say, no, the Murray report doesn't say task teams can't exist. Am I understanding it correctly?
It says so.
Okay. Well, it's a very long report, so I'm not going to challenge you to point us to where it says that of April 24, but I want you to go to 201 SM5. So what you've got there, you have a long list of recommendations from section head, from Brigadier Murray. Oh, it's not Murray. Colonel. Yes. You've got a long list of recommendations starting at page 200. And then when you turn to page 201, where it concerns task teams, you see at paragraph 8.9, he says, no task team be established without written and approved documentation from the provincial commissioner indicating the start date and estimated end date, as well as dates for impact analysis on a quarterly basis to measure the feasibility of continuation of such teams. So in his recommendations, it sounds like he does contemplate that task teams will be created. And then when you go to 8.10, and that's the important one for me, he says current task teams be subjected to an impact analysis by the organizational development and strategic management in the province to ensure the feasibility of the existing teams. So from that 8.10, and having read this report, I didn't come upon any part in his recommendations that says a task team, names a task team that must be dissolved. But I find 8.10 where he says there must be an analysis of the current teams to ensure the feasibility of their continuing existence. You must have seen that 8.10 by the time you made your decision.
Well, not specifically.
You knew by the time you made your decision that you knew then, because you've seen the report or you've heard about the report presented to you, you must have known that in this report, Murray says that there must be an impact analysis of current teams.
Provincial task teams.
No, that paragraph that I've just read, of provincial.
Yes.
Okay, but he doesn't say anything about the national teams.
Yes.
He doesn't say they must be dissolved. This is not, what I'm establishing with you is this is not a report that we will read and find Murray anywhere saying current national task teams must be dissolved. He says we must do integration. We must have murder and robbery, under which political killings will fall. We know he says that. But nowhere in this report does it say it must be dissolved. Or any task team for that matter. Nowhere in this report does Murray say task teams that are existing, national task teams that are existing must be dissolved. He doesn't say that.
Now, I don't know what Commissioner is...
You and I have read the report.
Yes.
You have been briefed on the report. I
Yes.
accept if you say you haven't read it. But having read it, because I had to sit here today,
Yes.
that's the only reason I read it. I did not come upon a recommendation from Mr. Murray that current task teams or any one of the current task teams should be dissolved. I didn't come upon that.
Yes.
You agree there's nothing like that?
I agree. All
right. Thank you, Minister. Thank you. That was my final thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Sildo.
I don't know if Chair will allow me just one question arising from the questions by the commissioners, and it's a very short question. It centers around the very 8.10 paragraph, Minister, that Commissioner Baloyi referred you to at page 201. And I understood you to say you interpreted that paragraph to speak to provincial task teams. Did I understand you correctly?
Yes.
Can I offer another perhaps potential interpretation, which is how I understand it, and invite you to comment?
Yes.
It reads, current task teams be subjected to an impact analysis by organizational development and strategic management in the province to ensure the feasibility of the existing teams. So, would I be correct to to say the teams operate in provinces, and based on following on what Commissioner Kumalo highlighted, that the PKTT was extended to Eastern Cape for the Fort Hare cases, to Mpumalanga, to Limpopo, and to Gauteng? Would you not accept a possible interpretation that what 8.10 seeks to communicate is that an impact analysis by that stated entity in the province be conducted on the feasibility of that existing team? So is the impact the withdrawal of the team would have on the province? You wouldn't accept that as a potential interpretation?
No, I won't.
Okay.
I won't.
I'm referred as well to the Murray report. It's the same report. This time at paragraph 6451. And your 6451 would be at page 191 of the same file. Thank you. And 6.4.5.1 reads, it first makes a comment and then draws a list of task teams. The task teams that are not monitored run rampant for years without determining or accounting for the gap left where the members were taken from, mostly at station level. So that's the first comment made. Then it lists the task teams found operating in provinces and lists a whole number of them. And I think it was Commissioner Kumalo who had this conversation with you as regards that list and pointed out that PKTT is not one of them.
No, it's not one of, yes.
These task teams. So,
sorry, Advocate, it's the other way around. PKTT is one of the task
PKTT
teams.
is political matters team, is one of them.
5 from the bottom.
Yes. Thank you, Commissioner. For the sixth task team from the bottom of that list.
Yes, it is.
It is there. So, and we know that political matters team, of which PKTT is one, operates beyond KZN as we speak. It's in the Eastern Cape, it's in Limpopo, it's in Mpumalanga. So therefore, I would say what paragraph 8.10 requires, that impact analysis, is the impact the withdrawal of that team from all the areas it operates in would have on the specific province. Although we know that it was first established in KZN. What would your comment to that be?
I think the explanatory paragraph to all of the bullets that come. No, firstly, up front, I don't agree with that interpretation. It says the task teams, he is tasked to do an assessment and at implementation. I think it is an implementation letter, this one.
Are you looking for 8.10?
No, I'm looking for the heading because we just get to 191 without knowing what is the heading of the whole document.
Okay.
Whether it is the implementation. So it's evaluation of the implementation of approved work study.
Yes.
which was approved in 2019. It's now what year?
This is
should be
2024.
2024.
Yes.
Then he makes these comments in that context that I'm asked to evaluate and how far we are with the implementation as agreed. And so part of what he says is that the task teams that are not monitored run rampant for years without determining or accounting for the gap left where the members were taken from, mostly station level. Task teams found operating in provinces are as follows. It refers to all of those that they are in silos all over and they are not monitored, and that is not a desirable situation. The desirable situation is the implementation of the work study as adopted. Now is being evaluated, and they still find that there's still this situation obtaining. In other words, what is there is what is not desirable, not what is desirable. It's a finding.
Just to make sure I understand, are you suggesting that the list of all the task teams there are task teams that Colonel Murray found are not monitored? They run rampant over the years without determining, they don't account for the gap left. And you say that's the list of task teams that fit that bill?
Exactly. If you read the third bullet from above, to clarify the point, it says, essential infrastructure task teams. Once again, essential infrastructure forms part of the mandate of organized crime in terms of the newly and desired specialized task teams. He says, and have similarities with other focus areas of ferocious and non-ferocious metals, extortion teams. Detectives assisting with investigation of these crimes should be within organized. So at that time, they were saying these teams that are not brought under the specialized teams and they are on their own and they are men. And this is what they are referring to, that it's not a desirable situation, all that list. And that paragraph, that bullet, clearly indicates that you may even have them double packed. You have essential infrastructure, which is actually called, there's another task team called ferocious and non-ferrous metals extortion teams. So you have all these teams. Now they want to put them together under murder and robbery or under organized crime and so on. This is what was happening there, to report that we haven't made, we have to make progress towards bringing them under specialized teams. This is what my understanding of this, when I read and now.
Can I just take issue with your understanding, and I'll explain why. It cannot be that the task teams listed there are task teams that fit the bill that precedes their listing or the description, which is task teams not monitored, running rampant for years, no accountability. It can be because one of the task teams that we know are operating is the illicit mining task team, the most expensive, that has cost the nation thus far 1.1 billion. And it was in existence at the time this Murray report was issued. And on your reasoning, that task team would fall under the last bullet point, which is illegal mining task teams. So are you suggesting that the currently illicit mining task team is not monitored, is running rampant, has been doing so for years, and is not accountable? Is that your suggestion?
This report says so at that time and wants to bring it in specialized units as they were conceived in 2019. That would be my understanding.
And in the following year, it was it was financed, the same task team that you so described, for 738 million. And this year, it has been budgeted for 294 million. Total of 1.1 billion. Surely, Minister, then we've got bigger problems than we accept. If we can have such task teams that cost the state that amount of money, and nobody calls them out.
To illustrate my point, on my side of correctness, without undermining your side, look at first, second, third, fourth, first, second, third, and fourth bullet from below.
From below.
Where you talk about knockout team concentrating on illicit mining. You see that, Tim?
I see that, yes.
Then you see at the end, the last bullet, illegal mining task teams.
Yes, I see that.
So this is what is found, according to the report, which is not desirable. They want to put it together in a way that depicts the concept of specialized task teams in 2019. This is one example, because clearly there in those bullets, you are talking about different teams but doing the same thing, which illustrates an undesirable situation.
Thank you, Minister. I won't take it any further. Chair?
Can I, Minister? Minister?
Yes.
I thought what Ms. Silo was seeking to demonstrate to you was that paragraph 8.10 that you and I discussed earlier, in fact, applies 8.10. You'll find it at 201. We looked at earlier.
201, yes. Yes.
It says current task teams be subjected to impact analysis in the province to ensure the feasibility of the existing teams. I thought what Ms. Silo was seeking to demonstrate to you is that the task teams referred to
This side.
the ones that you've just described now.
Yes.
Those are the task teams she was referring to.
Yes.
She was trying to show you that. And they are all national task teams, as far as we have understood.
No.
Uh-huh.
They are provincial in 810. It's written.
No, the political matters team is not provincial, Minister. It's a national team. You've told us that. You call it the political killings task team. Narcotics task team. You've got that. You've got the anti-gang task team. You can correct us or me if they are provincial, because you know better than I do. But you've got the cash in transit and ATM bombing task teams. So you've got national teams. At least we know the political killings task team is a national task team.
Which may not necessarily be the same as political matters team.
Do you know of another team that deals with political killings? Do you know? Because we have only heard in this commission about the PKTT.
Which is a national.
Yes. Do you know that there's another team, which is the political killings team? Political matters team, that's the word used here.
I know them in the form that they were now redesigned as subunits, which we said in terms of the specialized teams, you have serious and violent crimes. And then as a component, below that there's a section called murder and robbery. Below that there are subunits. One of those subunits is called political matters team.
Okay.
it is at provincial level.
Yes.
It is at a national level in one form or the other, but it's a subunit.
Okay.
So I suppose that when they established them or called for their establishment, now in 2024, Marai goes there
Yes.
to establish the extent of implementation of all of them.
Yes.
So he finds that they are there in one form or the other, but they are seeking improvement. That would be my reading of what is happening here.
So are you saying that Marai, where he discusses where he discusses task teams, he does not speak about the political killings task team? Is that what you're saying, the national one? If you say from this
Not
explanation you've just... Yes, so you're saying in this list, maybe let's take a step back. The list says task team that are not monitored run rampant for years without determining or accounting for the gap left. And then full stop. Then it says task team found operating in provinces.
Yes.
As follows. They operate in provinces, not established. He speaks about task teams operating in provinces.
Yes, we are wondering.
Now we know from you and everyone else that has testified before us that the political killings task team operates in provinces. We know that. It operates in KZN. You've just agreed with Ms. Sillo that it operates, or you've accepted when she says Mpumalanga, and she says Limpopo, and she says Gauteng. That is a team operating in provinces. No?
Not in this context, Commissioner. The one
But
that...
Minister, if you say not in, allow me to interrupt you.
Okay.
If you say not in this context, then you must then say or accept that Mr. Marai didn't say anything about the PKTT, because his list, according to you, I was prepared to accept that he does say something about the PKTT. He's included it. He's just called it political matters team, but he's speaking about that team too. I was prepared to accept that. But now you're saying where he discusses task teams that are running rampant, because somehow you read that first paragraph to be, he's saying all these listed teams are running rampant and are not monitored. If you say that on that construction, then this list doesn't include the PKTT, and the PKTT is not accused of running rampant and unmonitored, because according to you, it's not in this list.
No, Marai was not sent to assess the PKTT. So the PKTT is not part of the list.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
No, thank you, Minister.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I've concluded. That was the testimony of Minister Mchunu at this stage of the inquiry. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Sillo. Mr. Mugaitobi, may I invite you to come over, please?
Thank you, Chair. Chair, I know there are pressures of time, but I wonder if I can have 15 minutes to consult.
Not from my side anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Could I have 30 minutes then?
Yes. Yes. What you originally asked for, you may have.
Thank you, Judge. So if we may... Indeed.
Thank you.